I'm going to use a white layer because I think you can see that the best. And I'm just going to come down into here and I'm just going to draw a line across this object, and I want to make sure that line stays horizontal. Now, if you don't have your viewport here, don't worry about it. Just draw a horizontal line. And I'm going to label mine. Just, you do not need to do this, though. But I'll come in and throw an HL, because, oh, excuse me, a GL, because I'm doing my ground line. There's my ground line. Once you have that line, what I'd like you to do, since I've got approximately 8 inches in this direction, I want you to do an offset of 4, because we're going to put the horizon line halfway between our picture plane. Do an offset of 4 and offset this thing twice. Okay, so I'm going to do offset 4, and I'm going to make both lines here. So there is my horizon line, and there is my picture plane. Okay, so you should be looking at this setup right here. If you fall behind, folks, stop me immediately, please, and I'll get you caught up. And we'll all just be patient and get through this. Anybody need more time? Okay. Now, we've got that set up. Next thing to do, bring in your multi-views and get them placed. Again, we need a view that has height set on the ground. We need something that has width and depth set on the picture plane. So, I'm going to come over to my multi-views. And folks, I think it's generally a good idea. Don't use move. Use a copy. Leave these things alone. So, I'm going to do a copy. And I'm going to take my right side view. Oops, I don't know what I did. So I'm going to take my right side view and I'm going to put the bottom of it right on my ground line off on the edge. Then I'm going to take my top view and I'm going to set it up on my picture plane. Make sure it is right on the line, so you probably want to use a nearest snap. And I think, let's see, right about there is going to be a good location for it. So I put it just left of center of where I'm going to, because I want my drawing to kind of be here and it's going to drift off this way. Okay, so I chose a little bit left of center for this. Make sure it's right on the picture plane with the front edge. Okay, we good? Move forward. Keep in mind, what is this view? Why do we have it here? Why do we have that there? That's it. Height only. We need the y-axis off of that drawing. Why do we have this one up here? Okay. Width and depth. Okay? I've got width right here. I've got depth right here. Okay? Now, once I'm done with those, the next thing we need to do is define the point you're going to use. That's your eyeball, right? The station point. So the first thing you probably ought to do if you don't have it is to, because you're going to be snapping to a point, and you can put this data point, it's not part of the plot, what we're going to produce on the printed version, but you need to use it. So I would recommend on your home ribbon, if you go over to utilities, remember where you can modify point styles?
Yeah.
Choose that one and set it to some point that you can see. And then you want to place a point. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to pick a spot. I want to see part of the right side. So I'm going to place a point somewhere over about right here.
Below the horizontal line?
Yeah, I'm going to choose it a little below. We're going to actually move this because we don't know this is in the right spot yet. But I know I want to see the right side. So from here, it's pretty obvious that this is your eye. I'm going to see the front and the right side, right? Looking from here. Picture this is the top of your head, and you're looking that way. Now, what we then want to do is set up an approximate 30-degree cone of vision. So how do I do that? Probably the quickest way is I'm just, let me just real quickly, if you would go down to your status bar, right click on O Snaps and choose the settings. There's a couple settings on your snaps and polar that will really help you out when you're doing these drawings. First off, on your snaps, folks, I would clear everything off of there and only run with 3 snaps. Okay? Because that's really all you're going to need with this. So choose endpoint, node, and intersection. Those are probably the only 3 snaps you'll use. Unless you're doing a circular object, we might do some of those, but there's no circles on here.
Endpoints.
Endpoint, node. The nodes, because we're going to be snapping to that station point a lot. And intersection, and that's going to work with polar. That's on your object snaps. Go to polar tracking and make sure it gets set to 90 degrees. This is where most of the mistakes are made that I see on perspective drawings. People have this set to 30 degrees or something like that and don't change it. So on your polar tracking tab, set your polar to 90.
And take off your additional angles?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you only want 90.
That's under which one?
Okay, that's right here, your polar tracking.
And change it to 90?
Please. Yes?
Point thing, we don't want to work.
I'm sorry?
Like, for the points, I try to click on it, and it don't want to work. For the point, like how you guys put up points.
To format the styling.
Yeah, like that, like that. Is it because my computer is small?
Oh, no, it's because you got it set in absolute shift. Click on relative. Now your region. And go ahead and place the point. PO is point. And just click point. set that on some different layers. So it definitely doesn't show things. Now it is over. Let me know if it's still not working. Did you get it to appear?
Yep.
Are we all good? Now, a quick way to do your cone of vision to get it at 30 degrees is, I'm just gonna take a line and snap from there to there, my station point to these two extents that I can see, here and here. And then I'm gonna go to my annotate ribbon and use dim angle. And throw the angle in there. So in this case, I'm at 26 degrees. Now, if you'll just watch me, I'll wait just a second while you do that. Okay, go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you how to adjust this really, really quickly.
You just do basic lines, or was it?
Yep, just lines.
But make sure they're 26 degrees apart?
Nope, don't care.
Okay.
Take your lines from the station point. Remember, this represents what you can see.
Oh.
Take them from the station point to that edge, station point to that edge.
And then how do you measure them?
Then go do dim angle and measure the angle in between there. Don't use your angle measure command, dim angle.
Is everybody's angles gonna be different?
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody's angle will be different
Oh, from your perspective. Oh.
because you're special.
We put it in.
That makes sense. Because you're unique. That's crazy.
All right, we all there?
What's your angle?
All right. Oh, you said no? Okay, I'll wait. Doesn't matter. All right, now, I'm at 26
22.
degrees. So in essence, I'm too far away. Okay, I need to tighten that up. The stretch command will do this for you really, really quickly. So if you would, just watch what I do and then you go ahead and do it. Remember, stretch moves geometry. So I'm going to do S, enter for stretch. Now, when I do my crossing window, I'm going to do it just like this. So that crossing where the top, and I'm going to make a point of reteaching this because that stretch command, folks, I know a lot of you aren't using it. You need to use this, and if you don't use it on a regular basis, you need to go back in text and know how to use this command. It's one of the best ones you have. Now, all I'm doing is I'm making sure that goes right through the crossing window right here. That means this geometry is going to move. That's going to stay the same because it's inside the box. So I'm just going to click right here. Then I'm done selecting, so I hit a base point, and I'm just going to start sliding this thing where I can see that. You can kind of see my angle starting to change. There's 32 degrees. And I'm just going to slide this till I get approximately 30 degrees. And it's right in this location right here. Now I'm looking at my front and right side, and my cone of vision is 30 degrees. Okay, so if you would, get it there. Now, if you can't get exactly to 30, that's fine. Be from 28 to 32. Delete your cone of vision when you're there, when you're done with that.
So when I did it and I did the stuff, it went back where it was.
I don't know. You gotta click a base point and a destination point, so make sure you're using your left mouse button. Done selecting, now click a base point, and it can be anywhere.
Is it okay if it's above the,
30, left click. Okay, you're done. Huh?
is it okay if it's above the horizon?
Yep, sure is.
Or at least
You're much more to the right, right? So you're gonna see more of the right side than you are the front.
Oh,
How come my angle is upside down?
Probably because you drew your lines the other way. Go ahead and delete your cone of vision once you've got it approximately 30. Juan, you there? Jesse, you there? Andy, Nadia? I'm guessing we need to wait just a second. You're good, right, Cheryl? Let me know when you guys are ready to go. Okay.
But you leave the point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, gotta leave your eyeball in there. Okay. All right, so you have completed the setup now. You're ready to start drawing. So let me just review. We chose a place for our ground line. We decided we were doing a bird's eye view, so we just picked an arbitrary distance, in this case 4. Why did I pick 4? Because I wanted it higher than that object is all. That's the only reason why. So we went 4, put our horizon line, and then 4 for our picture plane, so that our horizon line sits right in the middle, bird's eye view. We then set our station point. We set it off to the side so we can see the front and the right side. And then we adjusted, do up and down or sideways to get our 30-degree cone of vision. You're now ready to draw. Now, what's sitting on the picture plane? The front edge, right? Isn't that this front view?
Yeah.
That's true size and shape also. So you don't even really need to draw the front. You've already got it drawn in the multi-view. So let's not waste time drawing it. Now remember, that front view, it sits exactly on the picture plane. This is going to be important when we draw our next object. So to draw the front of this, all I have to do is project straight down to the ground line from my top view. And then I'm going to use the copy command to bring my front view over to that location. I've now drawn the front of the object. So project straight down from your top, one of the sides, so you can locate. Then copy it over, put it on the ground. If you're still drawing, go ahead and keep going. I'm just going to kind of prattle along up here for a second. I didn't have to copy this over. Since this is sitting right on the picture plane, I could have shoot that side down, come to my right side view, brought over height and bottom, trimmed it all up, and would have left it in the same shape. Orthographic projection. It's why this is not considered pictorial in nature. All right, is everybody ready to move forward? What axis is not that way? It is our depth axis. Where does your depth axis go to? Where does it project to? It projects to your vanishing point. Have we set up a vanishing point yet? Okay, let's now set it up because now we need it. So how do we do it from the station point? Remember, you take on the same angle as your depth, which in this case goes straight back, and I'm going to project it up to the horizon line and place another point. So let me just kind of zoom in on that area and let me put my vanishing point in. So I'm going to come from my station point. I'm going to draw a line straight up to my horizon line so that I've got a place to snap. And then I'm going to put another point right here. Let me delete my little line. Now in my case, I've got 2 points that are very, very close to each other. Okay. But the lower one's my station point. My upper one is my vanishing point. Let me get back away and I'll do a regen. Now you can see the 2 points sitting there right on top of each other. You want to be really careful with your snaps here when you get in situations like I've got going. You're going to find with perspectives, especially 2 points, you get one line wrong, and you usually do one line, then I build the next line off of it, and the next line off of it. Once you get one line wrong, usually everything after that is wrong also. Okay, so you want to take your time, make sure you're getting good snaps. All right, do we need to take any more time, or is everybody there? Raise your hand if you need a little more time. Okay, now let's do our depth axis. We know from this object, my depth axis is going to go to that vanishing point. So, let me just show you. When I'm talking the depth axis, what I'm talking about here is this guy, right up here in my top view. Okay. I know all of those axes go from here, and I'm going to go to my vanishing point and back. And then I'm going to do the bottom also, because every time I do that, I can get the right ones. So let me show you what I did here. I came off of my object. My planes are pretty much 90 degrees. I came from this edge to the vanishing point, that corner to the vanishing point, that corner to the vanishing point. Just draw those lines. You should be sitting something like this when you're done.
And those have to be OBJ lines?
Well, yeah, that's what we're going to do at the end. I just changed mine so you can differentiate between them.
Okay.
I would highly suggest also when you're doing perspectives, keep yourself clean. Once you draw a construction line and you no longer need it, delete that thing. Are we good? Raise your hand if you need a little more time. All right, now, what we now know, let me back away just a little bit here so I can look at all views. Okay. So we know our front sides, true size and shape, we drew it right here. We know this depth axis vanishes to the vanishing point, so we drew those. We know that this top back corner, we know they sit along that line and that line. But we don't know where it sits. But it's got to be on that line somewhere. This is just like auxiliary views. Remember, we had to have two lines to create where they intersected? It's going to be the same thing here. Where do they sit? And you're going to repeat this process constantly. Go from point to vanishing point. Then we're going to come from our station point to where the point really sits and project that down. So here's the process for me to determine where this back edge is back here. I know they fall on those lines. Just if you watch me real quick. Okay, so I'm going to go from I'm going to draw a line from my station point to the point I'm looking for. And I'm going to do this top left first. Okay. So if you would, draw that line. Go from your station point to the point we're looking for. In this case, the back top left. All right, everybody's got that, I'm going to guess? Now, remember, this is that piece of glass right here that I'm looking through. So where my line of sight, this is my eyeball, I'm looking through the plate of glass to that point. Where I go through that picture plane, that's where I'm drawing at. So I'm gonna take a line, where I cross here, bring it straight down till I intersect that line. That's gonna give me that edge. So then I'm gonna go from the picture plane, straight down to the line in question. It's right there. I can then trim that up. Because that's that back edge right there. So let me just kind of show you where I did there. Station point, point in question. Where it crosses the picture plane, bring it straight down till you intersect that back line. Is everybody there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once I hit here, where am I at on the plane? I'm on this guy right here, right?
Yeah.
Is that a vanishing plane? It's a width axis. No, it's not, is it? So therefore, it's a horizontal line. It's going to be parallel to that one. So I can then go horizontal till I intersect that one, and that's going to be that corner. If you don't believe it's right, you can always use your station point. In fact, I'm going to show you, we're going to check that it's right. So I'm going to finish this object real quick. Okay, so I'm going to come down to my view. The width axis does not vanish, so I'm just going to draw a horizontal over to that line. The vertical axis does not vanish. I'm going to go straight down to this line.